Item 13. No one's going to declare any interest in this. Yes, we'll move this straight away, myself and the Deputy Mayor. Elections have come around for those of us standing again. Sandra, please take the stand. Sandra, that's you.
Yes, that is me. Kia ora koutou. I'll take the report as read, but I do want to quickly just highlight a few key points. First up, it's initialising, so I'm using that one. Okay, I'm just going to highlight a few key points. There are no changes to the arrangements that we've had previously, and so it's all going to be pretty familiar territory for everyone. A couple of reminders. If you are a member of the Te Punamanga Authority, you'll continue in that role until the 9th of December, whether you are elected or not, and you're still able to attend and participate in meetings. The same applies if you are a member of the Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei Reserves Board. Your term continues until the 17th of November 2025, regardless of election results, and you can continue to be involved. Finally, today's report is asking you to formalise the delegations that will apply between the 26th of September and the 31st of October 2025. Happy to take any partai.
Councillor Sayers.
Yes, so Sandra, just in terms of Councillor Leone and I represent the council on that Kaipara Moana remuneration group, which is that kind of big project up north. Is that so? Do we remain on that?
Yes, and if there's meetings, you will participate. So we will again choose the members from council once you're all the new members are elected into council. But until that time, you can participate.
Thank you.
This seems to have been sorted. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, carried. That was not enormously controversial. Approval to enter into negotiations with the Crown on a regional. This is approval to enter into negotiations, not actually complete the damn thing. So I'd welcome Megan and Max here. I'll move it and the Deputy Mayor will second this. Yes. Okay. Off you go, team.
Kia ora, Mr Chair. Kia ora, everyone. So look, just a quick report really to formally get your mandate to enter into negotiations with the Crown on a regional deal for Auckland. In June, you know that the ministers announced 3 regions that they want to continue negotiations with, Auckland being one of them. They intend to sign one deal up by the end of the year, December, and then the other 2 by the time of the next central government election. So, kind of about this time, September, October next year. So we're not sure where we are in the pecking order, but should it be us to be first by December, then we will need to come back to you with a draft or a final kind of a negotiated deal so that you can sign that off. That might well be before the elections in October. This is what we think. We're not quite sure. But as the Mayor said, this is just the mandate to negotiate. It's not negotiating the deal that will come back to the governing body for approval ultimately, whenever that might be, either this year or next year. The Crown will have a negotiator to represent them. And so what we are proposing, as I said, is just to provide the mandate to the Chief Executive to enter into negotiations. We are recommending that the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor and the Chair of Haukura are a political reference group to provide oversight and direction for us. And We will work on the kind of engagement that we will be able to do depending on the timeframes and all of those things once we hear back from the Crown with iwi and any other party we might want to do. Just a reminder, all of this is based on our light touch proposal that you signed off in February. Nothing else has changed with that. Those are the parameters. But we just really want to start the negotiations with the Crown when they're ready. Thanks. Happy to take any questions.
Anything to add, Max, or not? No. There has been a bit. It's just been somewhat driven by the council, by the Crown, and it's been cloaked in some secrecy. I have not been involved in any secret meetings about planning with tall buildings, as it might have been alleged in the paper today. The only things I've ever had with the Crown have been totally open, but they are a little bit secretive about this, to the point where even on our side we're not quite sure what it is that we're negotiating with yet. It's kind of like an envelope out there with city deal written on it, but no one's opened it yet. And so we're just having, this is to get approval to open and peer inside. Councillor Filipaina. Can't hear you, Councillor.
Yeah, just saying that I'm having difficulty with the camera microphone. Megan, tēnā kōrua to you and Max. Megan, can you tell me in regards to B, how does the rest of the governing body get the information back to them around the reference group that you referred to? How do we get that information in regards to the direction and oversight if it's only the three there? How do we get it? Because from my perspective, there may be things that they're looking at to provide direction and oversight that may not sort of agree with myself. So how do we get it back? Do we get a memo back saying this is what this political reference group has decided on our behalf?
Kia ora, Councillor. We don't expect the political reference group to make decisions on your behalf. That will come back to the governing body for a decision ultimately. But what we do think is important is just to have some political oversight and direction from a smallish group, given the Crown is going to have a signal negotiator working on their behalf. So it's not a decision-making group, it is a direction-setting group based on the light touch proposal. Given that we're a little bit uncertain still about the timing and process, I think it's a really good point, though. We can work with the political reference group about how we could either keep the governing body involved or in the loop, or even discussions. You know, we just don't know. But ultimately, they will not be making a decision. It will be you making a decision.
No, I understand that it comes back to governing body. Got no issue with that coming back, but sometimes when you end up having a political reference group that is looking at fixing Auckland, sometimes their direction and their advice may be contrary to the bulk of the governing body. So how do we make sure that that doesn't happen in this case, that the negotiation and the impact are around the mayor and deputy mayor being there? That's why, I mean, they obviously want to fix Auckland, but sometimes some of their decisions around advice may not be conducive to some of the other people on the governing body. So how do we cover off on that direction? Because sometimes that's what happens, is that it has an impact in regards to the negotiation.
Kia ora, Councillor. Look, I totally understand your point. I'm wondering whether there's either something in C where once we understand the timing and process from the Crown's perspective, we could come back and confirm what that looks like for us and for you as governing body. Unless the Mayor or Deputy Mayor have any other particular thoughts on that.
Alf, I imagine that the question you've asked will be asked by every member of Cabinet on the other side. is how can we know what they're going to negotiate when you've appointed a single person on the other side? I think it's just have a small group to talk and listen, and I'm quite well aware that there is a huge range of views on everything in this room, and you can be absolutely sure that we won't be making anything like a decision. And so we'll come back formally, but the other part of it's so cloaked in secrecy that the only papers I've had have had secrecy written on them and not even allowed to show them to anybody else. And there was nothing, and it was so secret that when I opened it up, it wasn't even worth reading. So it's not going anywhere fast. So
No, I understand that way. What I want is that, Megan, you just covered off exactly what I was looking at, and that is something needs to come back around the direction and oversight that the three of this political reference group, that needs to come back to us, even though it's a memo to say, here is the direction and oversight around the negotiations that were put in front of the government from the political reference group. That's all I'm asking, and I'll leave it at that.
Kia ora, Councillor. I hear that, and I think that can be covered by C if you want to get formal about it, but we're also hearing the comment. Sorry, Phil, did you have a...
No, I was just going to comment, hopefully helpfully, that part of the problem here is we don't know precisely what government's requirement will be of confidentiality or secrecy as this unfolds. They've been quite sensitive up till now. I think in good faith we will, in the course of negotiations, seek the ability to provide progress updates to councillors more widely, and if not that, certainly any departure from the scope that's determined actually by the proposal we ourselves put forward and went into the memorandum of understanding. So understand the point that's been made, Councillor Filipaina, and we'll try and manage it so that what you're suggesting is possible.
here, I agree.
Thank you, Phil.
I got no
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Thank you, Megan, because I trust you three. So look, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Ferry.
Kia ora anō. So my question was really how this process, and can you hear me? Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Cool. So my question was really how the timeline for this interacts with the timeline we just signed off about the pre-election period. Well, that was really about the interregnum, but also mindful that this process is starting at least during the pre-election period. I mean, my strong suspicion is that we won't be the one that's anticipated to be done by the end of the year. I imagine that the complexity of ours compared to the other councils is an order of magnitude higher. But it would be helpful, I think, and you probably can't answer that today, but to have a sense of how that interacts with the fact we're going into a pre-election period, the fact that then there will be an interregnum, then there will also be an induction period. How does this process take that into account? Thanks.
Councillor Ferry, can I answer it by saying that under no circumstances would I entertain signing off a regional deal with government in the period where I've got that delegated authority. It really must come back to you politically, and if there was a delay in that to make that happen, that's what I would insist on.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. I wasn't suggesting that you would. I was more thinking actually about the political reference group. You know, if we're in a pre-election period and we have Mayor, Deputy Mayor, the Chair of Haukura, all three of those positions could be different post-election. So how are we making sure that there's a process that doesn't end up where, and mindful again that also there'll be an induction process for new councillors around the table outside of that political reference group. How do we make this work so that we're not, because central government will have continuity, but we may not. And so how do we set this up in a way that acknowledges there may be change, but also that there needs to be continuity. Yeah, just want to make sure we get that right. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't meaning to imply, Phil, that you would do anything dastardly like that, because I can't imagine that at all.
Tempting.
Can I say this? Whoever's mayor is going to be one of the people doing that anyhow, but this is a government-driven thing rather than a council-driven thing. And the timing is all on their side. We're in no great rush, it's their thing. And they're not thinking about our election, they're thinking about their election. And so that they're not recognising that this is a pre-election period because they're trying to get it done before they get done in a pre-election period. I don't see any great rush from our side. And so if anything happens in a rush, we'll certainly come rushing back to you people, because I think I'm not keen to sign anything up between now and a change any more than the chief executive is. I think I get your point, but I wouldn't lose any sleep over this one, waking up finding that on the front
Right.
page of the Herald
That's
this
I've
morning.
got plenty of other things to lose sleep over, so I'll cross that one off the list. Thanks for the reassurance, Mayor.
Deputy Mayor, probably also like me, doesn't really want to find herself on the front page either. I had you down as a question. Sorry, your nervous tick was picked up by Sandra as a question.
Oh, sorry, I was just helping Councillor Filipino because I thought he made a very good point. Thank you.
Thank you for that, you guys. Is there anyone further about this? It's not a big leap forward yet. It's just an approval to take a tiny first step. On that basis, all those in favour, please say aye. To the contrary, carried. Okay, we're a long way short of a city deal yet. Now we have a summary of the governing body and committee information memorandum and briefings, which is not a lot really. And now,
Phil Simpson.
okay, all those in favour, please say aye. To the contrary, carried. We're going to boot the public out. There's one gentle person at the back there who was ruined. Hills has moved this and seconded by anyone awake? Yeah. Baker, thank you very much. All those in favour, please say aye. To the contrary, carried. Okay. A 5-minute comfort stop, and we're going to do something which is amazing.